Hey everyone and welcome to Victoria 3. I've waited so long to say those words, extra long because I was out of town when the game came out. I played it about 3 hours. You can tell I got a couple of campaigns I've kind of messed with just to see what we can do. But this is going to be a learn to play thing. I did a poll on Twitter that came back as Great Britain being the winner. However, we are not going to do a campaign as Great Britain yet because it turns out that it's one of the harder countries to get started as in this game. So we're not going to get there yet. We'll get there eventually. We're instead going to be doing the learn the game scenario as Belgium. I did a little test over there. So we're going to be playing as Belgium with achievements allowed, no Ironman mode. That way we can have multiple saves. All of these we can keep the same. No presets. Apply. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. So we're going to be playing as Belgium in this first campaign. Instead of the UK, we'll go back to playing the UK in another series once I have some sort of grasp on what this game's about. Sure, certainly is not now. The year is 1836, and Leopold of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha is King of Belgium. The Industrial Revolution is well underway, bringing cataclysmic social change along with it. More than 20 years have passed since the Congress of Vienna imposed some semblance of order upon Europe, and unrest is once again starting to brew among the great powers. It will be up to you to guide Belgium to glory over the following century. Yeah, the game takes place from 1836 to 1936, so there is an end, but that is okay. It ends right at World War II, or right around there. There's no one way to win in Victoria 3. You set your own goals and experience different stories in the process of pursuing them. Victoria 3 is about taking charge of, growing and shaping a Victorian-era country, with a primary focus on economics and politics. That should be kept in mind for later. We'll get into that in a minute. With a primary... Okay. You will be constructing a society of your own imagination while overcoming internal and external obstacles. Politics, economics, diplomacy, and war are all tools to that end, but must be employed with care as your population have needs and desires of their own. Your decisions will impact them, and they will in turn attempt to influence you. Victoria 3 is a dynamic simulation with many moving parts. All of your actions have consequences, even unintended ones. This is normal and expected. You do not have to learn how everything works before you play, but take it slow and learn from your mistakes, and you will soon be an expert policymaker. Use WASD to look around the map. Thankfully, I much prefer that. They have the arrow keys too. So either or. Use scroll wheel to zoom in and out, and to pan the map. You can pan the map by moving the cursor to the edge of the screen. That annoys me, but holding tab, you can see an instant overview of the entire world, which is something very nice that I haven't noticed in a lot of Paradox games. Sometimes you will see underlined text, or a colored name or concept. Hover your cursor over such text to get more information in a new window. Call it a tooltip. Keep your cursor still for a moment and the tooltip will get a solid border and lock in place. You can then find new underlined text, names, or concepts to hover within that tooltip. Now, something I've done, because I've been watching someone by the name of Lionheart play this a little bit, and he did this in CK3, and I didn't know it was even in there, but you can go to the settings and escape, because then that does not go away. You can go down here to game and change tooltip mode to action lock. So I've done that, and instead of it timing it with leaving the cursor there, press the middle mouse button and it does it. So much better. Saves time and efficiency. 3 capacities measure different aspects of your country's power. Mouse over the orange text to get more information. So there's bureaucracy, which is the capacity used to maintain your country's administrative cohesion and day-to-day operation. The cost increases with the population across your incorporated states and with every institution investment level, and is also used to administer commanders and trade routes. You gain bureaucracy from operating government administration buildings. Authority is a capacity used to effect internal change to your country, like issuing decrees or managing interest groups. You gain this from law. And influence is a capacity used for your diplomatic actions and pacts targeting another country. You gain influence based on your rank. Bureaucracy, authority, influence. Treasury. Money makes the world go round, right? It is used in the treasury to fund the state apparatus. So with money, you can expand industry and infrastructure, fund the state apparatus, pay the military, and influence minor nations. The vast majority of money in your country is circulated by buildings and pops and is outside your direct control. Buildings and pops can be taxed to grow and improve your economy. Decrease your expenses by minimizing the operating costs of government building. The balance shown on the top bar reflects a weekly change. So we get 11.6 thousand euros a week. Or pounds, I don't know which. With 27,000 national revenue. I guess that's per month. Money can be saved to be spent later, though going into debt by running a negative weekly balance can often yield a better return on investment. Okay. Loans will be automatically repaid while your weekly balance is positive. On the left side of the screen, there are a number of buttons that can take you to screens showing an overview of the different aspects of Belgium. Some are used to manage your country, while others are informational. Feel free to look through them and press next when ready. We have politics. I'm going to put this down here and we'll go through these together. It's what this first episode's all about. We probably are not going to speed the timer up at all in this episode. So there's our thing. We apparently can't rename guys yet, which is unfortunate, but, you know, I kind of see it, trying to keep historical accuracy. So this is the overview screen. The Liberal Party has 17.7% clout in Belgium, and the Petite Bourgeoisie has 6.2%. Okay, I'm still having trouble reading the UI. It's just a learning curve. The Liberal Party Intelligentsia has 17.7, and the Liberal Party Petite Bourgeoisie has 6.2. So the government, there's a little more breakdown of everything. Laws we have 25 with government or movement support and 42 without. 10% clout in the armed forces. In the Catholic Party, 10.6% for the land orders, blah, blah, blah. Laws, we can do all of this throughout the campaign. We'll do this later on, obviously, as the game kind of tells us to, because this is a learn-to-play scenario. It will get us there in time. So next up, institutions. Only one institution right now with the education, because we have religious schools as a pre-built-in law. Budget. Pretty easy. Well, pretty easy on the surface, but we have expenses, which construction goods are consumed, and they're iron frame buildings. They're consuming goods, but they're not consuming expenses, which is good for now. Once we start building more buildings here anytime now, this thing will go into the red. Government wages, 7.81k, military wages. So taxation, 11.7 thousand per week in taxes. 9.73 thousand per week in poll taxes. A little bit in tariffs and a little bit in minting. Minting is generating money, producing money. So we're minting about $4,000 a week in money. 3,000 of that in our GDP, which is good. So states, we only have 2 states, Wallonia and Flanders. And assets, we can declare bankruptcy from this screen. And a reserve fund of gold sitting around of about 630k with 11,000 a week. So if we can gain, so we have 630,000 euros to mess with, to kind of work with. As going back to what an earlier screen said, of we have this money, we can go into the negative if we need to. We're about half full on our reserve fund. Buildings, this is a very complex screen. But here's our urban buildings, our rural buildings, development, construction. We can go into these. I'm not going to right now. Market. So this can be broken down into staple goods, industrial goods, luxury goods, and military goods. Staple goods is where I'm going to keep it for most of the game, because staple goods is just that. It's a staple. You need it. And I'm going to set it to market price. Paper is inflated heavily right now, a 40% increase compared to its base price. That ain't good. Now wood is currently down, presumably because it's either being produced a lot by other markets or because it's just not demanded right now by the markets. As is transportation. It's railing transportation in this case. That's down 27%. Okay. Fish is up a little bit. See, I am a business major in college, so with a degree already. So I know I have some sort of semblance of normalcy with reading this stuff. It's just what I have to learn is, and that's what we're going to be doing in this campaign. It's basically how to apply my existing knowledge to the game, plus any new knowledge that it may provide me. So that's kind of what this Belgium campaign is going to be. Military, not a huge part in this game. We will use it a lot. We can mobilize our generals, have garrisons, we have navy. I'm not going to worry too much about that. But diplomacy, we're not in any wars, thank frick. There is our tech tree. We have 3 of them to mess with. Military, currently building an ironclad. I think I'm going to switch that. I don't think we need it right now, as we're not a heavily military country. Of course, that's... Yeah, that's more military. Yeah, stupid. You're in the military screen. Society. We can research anarchism. Isn't that wonderful? We're not going to do that right now. I think production and society are going to be where we sit. So we're going to come back to this, and I think we're going to probably do... what's this? The Bessemer process. The Bessemer process is a technique for the mass production of steel. Yeah, we're doing that. We're doing that right now. Screw the frigates or whatever we have. Cultures. So we have... And here's where this is going to be very interesting. I had never seen a game do this. So this is going to be a lot to learn. But I'm ready. Citizenship. Racial segregation. Isn't that wonderful? It's not, but that's what it is in 1800s. Victorian era. So if we go to population, let's go to a detailed list. Outliner. Okay, we have an outliner. This is kind of our breakdown of interest groups. We can put these into the outliner on the side here. We have our generals with 2 armies right now. I'm going to kind of turn that down. Right now, we don't need much of that at the moment. We will very soon, though. A journal. This will start opening up as we get out of this 8-page introduction. Here any second. So what I wanted to show you, I can't show you at the moment. But I will show you eventually what I mean by that. Let's move on. Haven't even gotten to this yet. I like this feature. Along the bottom of the screen are 5 lenses. These provide easy access to actions you can take to shape your country, combined with information needed to make good decisions. Production is for expanding industries to produce goods and provide details about your economic output. I'm going to go back. Can't go back. Show me again. Politics is for managing the government and your population and provide details about the power balance in your country. Diplomacy is for initiating or breaking pacts with other countries or starting diplomatic plays against them. It provides details about how other countries perceive you. We're going to go into that here in a minute. This is new. I like this. I accidentally showed you that. Military is for expanding your army and navy and recruiting commanders, and provides details about wartime matters. Trade lets you expand trade infrastructure and establish trade routes, and gives you information about markets. We're going to go into this one. So we can declare interest and establish a colony. We can do diplomatic plays. Very similar list of things to this as maybe a Victorian era list of things as Terra Invicta. Close our lens. Keep going. Pausing. Adjust the speed of the game and unpause, unpause at the highlighted speed controls. You can also pause and unpause by hitting space on your keyboard. The timeline of Victoria 3 spans 100 years from 1836 to 1936, but you can adjust that tempo yourself. Right now, time is standing still because the game is paused. While the game is paused, you can still interact with it, but many actions transpire over time and require the clock to be running to have any sort of effect. For this part of the tutorial, we'll keep the game paused while we walk you through some fundamentals. Take note of the highlighted speed controls, since we will soon hand the reins back over to you. Alright, so we are paused. Day 1. Let's do the first thing. So you've just been given your first tutorial challenge. We have paused the game to give you time to read. Remember to unpause using the speed controls or the spacebar when you're ready to resume. Open the journal panel by clicking this little button down here. So the first thing we got to do is expand a basic building. There's Canada. Okay. Let's head down here to Belgium. So just select, this is your journal. All tutorial challenges granted to you can be found here. Other major events in your country may also appear here from time to time. It's things like this probably, I assume. You should inspect the tutorial challenge you have been given. Open the Expand a Basic Building journal entry to continue. You've been tasked with expanding a basic agricultural building in one of your states, Flanders. As you play the game, more tutorial challenges like this one will appear in your journal. You can either try to complete the challenge yourself without any guidance, or click the Tell Me How button for a walkthrough. You can also click the Tell Me Why button for an in-depth explanation of why it is so important. We're going to do this because I want to show you this. I know how to do it. It's one of the few things in this game I know how to do, because I did mess with Sweden in a campaign. Buildings are built in states. By clicking a state on the map, you can see which buildings already exist there or can be built there. Find the state called Flanders on your map. If you hover the state name with your cursor, it should highlight somewhere in Belgium. The top piece of Belgium. You can find all buildings in Flanders under the Buildings tab. In the Building Overview panel, you will see an overview of buildings that are present in the state of Flanders, grouped together by 4 categories: urban, resource, agriculture, and development. Look for wheat farms in the Flanders state panel. Wheat farms are down here in agriculture. So let's click on it. You can now see detailed information about the wheat farms building in Flanders. You can order its expansion from the panel by clicking the highlighted plus button. You can also use lenses to expand the wheat farms, but we will cover that later. I want to cover it now. There we go. You've successfully ordered the expansion of the wheat farms in Flanders. Buildings take time to expand. Let's see. How much? 10 weeks. The wheat farms have been placed in the construction queue and will be constructed within several weeks. While waiting for this process to complete, keep playing the game. More journal entries will appear to teach you about the different game mechanics in Victoria 3. So that's a lot we just covered in one episode, but I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Let's go and get out of this. So I have a better understanding. You have a better understanding. We'll come back here on Monday with the intent to really get into this. But for now, it's going to do it. Like, subscribe, favorite, turn on notifications, and I'll see you next time for more Victoria 3 in our Learn to Play campaign as Belgium. Thanks for watching.